No mai Huddy mai. It's the Huddy Hui. Find Huddy Sports on Instagram and Facebook. huddysports.co.nz. Now let's kōrero.
Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the Huddy Hui episode 171, and we're up to the last week of NPC, the final this Saturday. Canterbury taking on Otago, and no doubt that will live up to the books. I just found out about half an hour ago that Apollo Project Stadium is sold out for the NPC final, so that's great news, something that Wellington couldn't do last year. But last weekend we went up to the Hawke's Bay again for the Hawke's Bay Sevens tournament at Napier Boys High School, and always great to go back and see Napier Boys and the crew there. One of those people I caught up with last week. He had a strong tournament indeed, and he's had a stellar year for Napier Boys. He's their centre in their first 15, is Harvey O'Rourke as our guest on the Huddy Hui tonight. Harvey, many thanks for coming on the Huddy Hui. Let's reflect back on the Napier Sevens tournament last weekend. What were the key factors that determined the team's performance, and what did you personally take away from the event?
Yeah, hey Brad, thanks for having me on. Some key factors were just trusting the players inside and outside of us to do their job, as well as each of us backing ourselves to take an option if we see it. Personally, I took away that we can beat some of the top teams, such as Palmy, who we just lost to in the last seconds, and Hamilton, who just beat them.
Yeah, you mentioned Palmerston North. Of course, I think the team thought you possibly had that game wrapped up, but it went into additional time and Palmy won. What are the learnings from closing a game out like that?
Yeah, biggest learning is definitely just getting up quick off that final kickoff and shutting them down early, especially teams like Palmy who have a lot of speed throughout the field. We can't afford to let them spread the ball as much as we did. So biggest learning is making sure to stop those quick teams from using the ball as much as they did.
And how do you prepare for the demands of a sevens tournament beforehand and during the tournament? Because it can be pretty intense, particularly physically as well.
Yeah, so preparing for, is definitely a must for sevens, especially for those one-day tournaments, which are really physically demanding. Personally, I just focus mostly on making sure I'm eating well and having enough water the couple of days before, and a lot of carbs and protein the night before and dinner, and then just topping up with quick fuel carbs during the tournament to keep energy high.
What are the key differences and challenges when you have to switch from a 15 season to a sevens campaign?
Yeah, just focusing more of an attacking mindset. There's a lot more gaps in the defense, so constantly just looking for those gaps and taking the opportunities when they come up.
And how are the trainings for sevens compared to 15s? I imagine there's probably a lot more running.
Yeah, there's a lot of running, but I wouldn't say they're physically harder. We were pushed pretty hard for 15s with the conditioning, so they're about the same in that way, just different styles to get the conditioning in. Sevens trainings are quite a bit shorter though, with going through our shape and moves taking less time. Just because of the less numbers we have, we don't need as much time.
Of course, sevens is all about space and speed. What is the biggest opportunity a player like you gets in sevens that you typically can't do in the 15s game?
Yeah, biggest opportunity is probably being able to use my speed more. Instead of looking to set up my outsides, I can just have a go myself as the space opens up in sevens.
Now, did you get to meet the legend himself, Sir Gordon Titchens, last weekend, who is the patron of the sevens tournament?
I didn't get around to seeing him last week, but I have met him before. In 2023, our coach has quite a good connection with him, and he got him to come train us for a couple of days. And it was very intense and gave us a bit of an insight of what it takes to train at a high level. So that was good.
Did you survive his training sessions? Because not many do.
Yeah, barely, but yeah, we got through it, which was good.
So, what is the next sevens tournament for Napier, and what does Napier need to do to qualify for the Condors in December? Because here in Wellington, the Wellington teams play on Labour Day, and I think from memory, the top 2 teams go through to Condors.
Yeah, that sounds quite similar to what it used to be in Hawke's Bay. Yeah, it used to be 2 teams that qualify. So that tournament we just had would have qualified us for Nats. But this year, Hawke's Bay can take 3 teams. So there's no tournament that we need to have to qualify because 3 of us can go.
And there'll be yourself, Hastings, and Lindisfarne, I presume.
Yep, that's correct.
Oh, that's good. Well, at least you don't have to worry about qualifying for the Condors. But have you ever been to the Condor Sevens, Harvey?
Yeah, I've been 2023 and 2024. 2023, we didn't do so well the last 2 years without we didn't make top 16, which was unfortunate. But yeah, definitely learnings from those tournaments. And we look to make that top bracket this year.
Now let's go back to where it all started for you. Where did your junior rugby begin for you, Harvey?
Yeah, so my junior rugby began in Clive, which is my home club. I played 8 years for them, so all throughout primary and intermediate.
And this year you've primarily played at the centres. What do you enjoy most about the demands of that role on the field?
Yeah, definitely love centre. Just being able to cover both sides of the field on attack and defence. There's also a lot of opportunities to set outsides up for a try or get them to make lots of metres, which is great for the team.
Now, your year 13, your final year at Napier Boys High School. Where did you start there? And how have you found your time there? And what is your most memorable schooling moment?
Yeah, started in 2021 and have spent all my time there. It's been great. Most memorable schooling moment is probably winning against Hamilton Boys during the Super 8 season. We were down 19 points with 20 minutes remaining, so to win was a pretty good feeling, especially considering the rivalry we have. Last year they beat us by 1 point. 2023 we beat them by a couple of points, and in 2022 they beat us in the national final. So to add to that rivalry in a positive way was a good feeling.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to come to that question later on, but we'll come to it now. So in round 4 of the Super 8 this year, the team bounced back well and beat Hamilton at home 40 points to 29. Can you describe the feeling and what clicked for the team during that second half performance?
Just realizing that we couldn't really take that big of a loss on the home field, Yeah, it would have been pretty devastating to lose by quite a big margin like that on home turf in front of our family and friends who came down to watch us. So I think just all of us buying into the thought that we couldn't let that happen. And yeah, that just was enough for us to click and put on a good performance in that second half.
You also scored 2 tries in the second half. Talk us through those 2 tries. How were they set up for you?
Yeah, so the first try I got, my inside gave me a pretty good ball in front of me so I could run onto it, and I managed to run around the opposite 13 to score under the posts. And the second try, our winger, Tommy McKenzie, he put a big shot on their 6 and managed to make him fumble the ball, and I was in the right spot, so I scooped it up and managed to run 30 metres in and score the second try.
When was the last time that Napier beat Hamilton? Because Hamilton's been pretty dominant in that competition for a number of years.
Yeah, we lost to them last year by 1 point, and I'm pretty sure in 2023 we beat them at home as well, by a small margin.
Now let's go back to this season, the start of it. This is your third season in the first 15. Where was your debut and who was it against?
Yeah, so I debuted in 2023 in Year 11 against the Yongatiko Colts. Didn't manage to score in that game, but it was good to see what it was like to play with senior boys who are obviously a lot stronger than what I was used to.
Now, who are the coaching staff for the first 15 this year, and what do they bring to the team? Or what did they bring to the team?
Yeah, so our first coaches were Willie Tran, Dan Wainger, Gareth Evans, and Tom Symes. The best thing they brought was probably their experience in playing in high-level rugby. I know Gareth Evans and Dan Wainger, who they both played in Super Rugby and have trained in professional environments. So they brought the same principles and expectations, which held us all to a high standard and brought out the best in all of us.
How many games have you played for the first 15?
Yeah, so over the last 3 years, or 2 and a bit years, I've managed to play 39 games.
It's pretty impressive. Well done there, Harvey. But the other thing that's quite an achievement is that you achieved a rare honour in rugby. I don't know of many that have probably achieved this, but you scored a hat-trick of tries on your birthday. Who was that against? And have you scored a hat-trick of tries before?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to score a hat-trick on my 18th. I did that against Scots College in Wellington. And yeah, first hat-trick for first. I've only had a couple, but I think I got a couple hat-tricks for like under 15s, and I think I got one for seconds, but just that one time for first.
Well, that's a fantastic achievement to have. But the other thing that's important for schoolboys, and it's different for every school, is caps that are presented to players in the first 15. What does it take to earn a cap at Napier Boys High School? And the caps seem to be a bit different to the school caps that we tend to have here at the schools in Wellington.
Yeah, every school I think is a bit different, but for us it takes 15 games to get your cap. You don't need to start. It's just as long as you get on the field and I guess contribute, you get your cap. And then after 15, you get a badge at 30 and 40. And then if you reach 50 caps, you get a new cap with different colours on it.
Oh, that's a fantastic achievement as well. And of course, you're just 11 short of that, Harvey. So, has anyone actually got 50 games for the Napier first 15?
I know this year our captain was one off it because he played all through year 11. He was on 49. And I think last year we had a couple year 13s. Yeah, not many though.
Yeah, no, it's pretty hard to do in first 15 rugby. Where did you earn your cap and who presented it to you?
Yeah, so I got my cap in a draw against Rotorua Boys in 2024, and my dad presented it to me. And he also presented me my badge for my 30th cap, which was against Scots College this year.
Birthday present as well too, I imagine. So.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the Super 8 is considered the toughest and the best first 15 competition in New Zealand. How tough is it to play in the Super 8? What is the travel like? And does the travel impact on your learning at school during the week?
Yeah, it's definitely really physically demanding. You know, you're playing the best prospects in the country every week, and you could be playing them at home, which makes it a challenging task. Normally we'll travel on a Friday, the day before a game, so you would miss one day of class. It never had much of an impact on my learning, but I think it does have an effect on a few other players, so they just need to work a bit harder in class to make up for the missed time.
What is your favourite subject at school?
I don't really do any fun subjects anymore, but God, probably. Yeah, I don't really have a fun subject. They're all just academics. I guess, yeah, not really any fun ones at the moment.
Oh, no history, no English, no.
Nah, those aren't my favourite. Nah.
No. All right, here we go. So, of course, the start of the Super 8 this year was tough for Napier, losing to Gisborne, Hastings, and Tauranga in the first 3 rounds. What did the team learn from those losses?
Yeah, I mean, our biggest learning was that we knew we were a better team than on paper, especially against Gisborne. It was our first hit out together, and we just completely fell away from our game plan and our structure. So we knew we had a lot of work to do. Against Hastings, local rivals, we were fired up and got out to a 17-0 lead within 20 minutes into the game. And I just think we got a bit complacent and then fell apart in the second half and lost. So against Tauranga, we knew we had to keep our composure, and which we did throughout the game. We played great as a team, but just lacked the last bit needed and just lost to a great Tauranga side. From all these losses, we learned we are a very hard team to stop once we play our game plan, and it was only a matter of time before we got to show it.
This year, you've been part of the leadership group for the first 15. What did being part of that group teach you about leadership?
Just the biggest thing I learned probably with being a leader was players in the team look up to you and how you respond to certain situations. So you need to be a good example. If you're down points, just keeping composure and giving clear next steps for what we need to do was crucial to stay in games and win.
Now, after the Super 8, you had a quarter-final against Palmy Boys, and of course you asked me to fix the question up because I got it wrong. But here we go. The Hurricanes quarter-final, Napier narrowly lost to Palmy, which also was a challenge for the Moeska Cup. How did the team prepare for this game, knowing that there's a place in the Hurricanes semi-final, but a chance of winning the Moeska Cup?
Yeah, obviously the Moeska Cup is a really sought out trophy in the first 15 because you don't get many shots at it. We were pretty determined from our loss against them earlier in the season, as well as not beating Rotorua for the Moeska as well earlier in the season. So to have both on the line really just motivated us. We're up at half time, but just couldn't finish in the last 10 minutes and fell off.
Palmy were still probably getting over winning like the week before, weren't they?
Yeah, they are. They would have been on a high.
Of course, what has been your favourite memory or highlight in your first 15 career, either individually or with the team?
Yeah, probably my favourite memory is being able to go to Japan in 2023 for the World Xanax tournament. Went through with them as a development player and got to play against some teams from different countries all around the world, and it was a great experience, especially having my dad there. It was pretty cool.
How was the experience of Japanese culture for you?
Oh, they're just as players, they'll all go pretty hard, but also really respectful as well after the game. So it was good to have a talk with him after the game and just see how their trainings were and how they prepared for rugby.
Looking back at the Super 8 season this year, what was the biggest takeaway or the most valuable lesson you have learnt as a member of the first 15?
Probably the most valuable lesson is the season isn't as long as you think. So just playing every game like it's our last, there's something I'll take away for the future as well, just because, season's shorter than you think.
How would you describe the culture and work ethic within the squad this year?
Oh, in one sentence, I'll probably just say it was second to none. As a team, we learned a lot more than just rugby. Throughout the year, we learned how to work hard together and come close together at hard times. From camp at the start of the year to trainings leading to the season, that kind of built the foundation for us to come together. In times during the season where it was tough for us, such as losses against Rotorua and Palmy at the end of the season.
Now, here in Wellington, we sort of have to wait for athletics and summer sports to finish before rugby players can sort of get going in late March, April. It's a little bit different up there in Napier. Tell us when the rugby program actually kicks into gear.
Yeah, so we start up, we had our camp in February, and then from that point on, we played pre-season games against Colts teams, and we do that up until about when the Super 8 season starts. So it's really just, 4 or 5 pre-season games, and then we'll just get right into the Super 8 season.
Now, the post-season for you, how was the Hawke's Bay under-18 campaign?
Oh, it's always great. Just get to train with the players from Hastings Boys and other schools around the Hawke's Bay that we normally play during the regular season, as well as to learn from new coaches from those schools. It's a great experience.
Now, of course, to come up against the Wellington under-18s, how crazy was that game? There were some missed chances by Hawke's Bay against Wellington that day.
Yeah, definitely missed some chances. The game had everything, but we just couldn't execute what we wanted to get the win. We always knew that Wellington were going to be a quality side, and they outplayed us that day. So, yeah.
Outside of rugby, I hear that you're one of the fastest sprinters at New Plymouth Boys High School. What is your 100 and 200 metre time?
So I think I was 11.3 at school athletics for the 100. And I can't fully remember the 200. It's a little bit not as great as that, but I think it was around 23. 23 something for the 200.
When I commentated Napier against Wellington College, we had a little joke about this on Saturday, Harvey. You are noted for your impressive gym stats. One of the school, and you're also one of the school's bench press champions. What is your bench press and squat high scores? Is it 140 kgs and 190 kgs as per the commentary notes I received?
At the start of the Super 8 season, I benched 140 and deep squatted 185. But yeah, I haven't tested those since, just with all the rugby on, but hopefully I can get those up even more during the off season.
So it's not a myth, it's real. So that's good. That's confirmed, folks. So here we go.
Confirmed.
So besides rugby, what other sports do you play?
I haven't really done many other sports this year. Just been really busy with rugby. But last year, and the years before at high school, I've really liked basketball. So last year I played a bit for the senior A, but then couldn't commit to nationals just because of Hawke's Bay under 18s. But yeah, all throughout high school I've loved basketball. So
Basketball's huge at Napier as well. They've nationally done pretty well too in the past, haven't they?
yeah, they did, I think we came second last year, and I think we were like sixth or seventh this year.
What do you see as the potential for Napier Boys High School rugby program in 2026 now that you're about to finish?
Yeah, there's a lot of talent coming through with the under 15s placing, I think, fourth at nationals, and on top of that, the Super 8 players that are returning. It's hard to say, but I think they'll do very well. I'd say probably better than we did this year. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they make the Super 8 final and go far into the top four. Definitely an underdog team that will surprise a lot of teams if they underestimate them.
Who have been the biggest influences in your rugby and sporting career?
Biggest influence has probably been my dad. From a young age, he's always pushed me, and I guess you could say he's built my competitiveness. And as well as this year, my coach Dan Weinger, he had a pretty big influence. He took me aside at the start of the season and gave me a few things I needed to work on to improve my game, and I worked on them and became a better player because of it.
When does your last day occur at Napier Boys, and how many exams do you have?
I think we got 2 more weeks, and yeah, I've got 5 exams: physics, calculus, economics, geography, and chemistry. So we're pretty busy studying for those over the long weekend.
Oh, the sciences, geez. Yeah, that's a lot to do. What is the best try you have scored and why?
Probably that second try against Hamilton, scooping the ball up after it was dropped and scoring the try to cement the win felt really good.
Is there a particular opposing player or backline you have come up against this season that you felt really tested your skills?
Yeah, the best backline I think we came up against in the Super 8 was probably Palmy Boys. Strength throughout the entire backline, driven by a really good first 5, made it a challenge to execute against.
Is there one game you have played in your rugby career where you learnt the most about yourself as a player?
I'd say I learnt a lot against the Palmy Boys in the quarterfinal. I didn't play as well as I wanted to, so took those situations and worked on them after the game to fix them.
As you look ahead to next year, 2026, what are you hoping to do next year, Harvey?
Yeah, so I'm still trying to keep some of my options open for next year, but I've applied for Otago Uni, and I'll keep playing rugby for the uni team, and or I'll go into the army and play rugby in Palmy.
Fantastic. And of course, Hawke's Bay dropped out in the semi-finals against Canterbury last week. Hawke's Bay, though, the young team still with a lot of talent, and signs are good for the depth of rugby in the Bay, isn't it, Harvey?
Yeah, there's a lot of good players, my age coming through with a few players from Hastings Boys and Lindisfarne. Yeah, it's quite a few good young players.
Now, there's the NPC final this Saturday. It's Canterbury against Otago. I think you'll be a bit like everyone, hoping Otago gets the win.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we just can't stand another Cantab title, that's for sure. And did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that Renfrew Shield game where Otago beat Canterbury? Did you see that one?
Oh, I think I might have been working. I don't think I got a chance to see that game.
Well, we interviewed a few weeks ago Lucas Casey, who scored 2 tries in that game, and he pretty much won the Renfrew Shield for Otago. So go back and have a listen to his interview. It's quite an interesting story. How's him all the way up in Northland. Let's go back, though, to finish off tonight. How is the Napier Boys High School team preparing for the Hurricanes Sevens tournament next Saturday, and the learnings from last weekend's tournament that you're going to take into that?
Yeah, so this week we've just been looking at certain scenarios where we didn't do the right thing. For example, like our lapses in defense, where the opposition went through from last weekend, and just practicing what to do in those situations so we can be better in the future.
Harvey, it's been fantastic having you on the Huddy Hui. It was great to meet you last week at your home stomping ground, and hopefully I'll try and get up there. I believe it's at Fielding, the tournament, from memory. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure. I have to double check that, but yeah, I think it's Fielding.
Yeah, so hopefully I might come up and pay a visit and see you again. But all the best for the rest of the season and the Condors as well, and what you decide to do next year in 2026. But many thanks for coming on the Hui tonight. Have a good evening.
Cheers, Brad.
That is Harvey O'Rourke, and great interview with this young man. He's got a lot of talent, and hopefully in rugby we can keep him involved as well. Always good to go up to Napier, beautiful part of the world, and yet again the weather was stunning, and I hope you're all keeping safe tonight. It's been a pretty rough day here in the capital, but our thoughts go out to all those down south that have been doing it tough today. So hopefully this weather disappears. I think we've all had enough of the wind across New Zealand the last 2 to 3 weeks. Now, here on Huddy Sports, we might cover the College Sport Wellington Sevens tournament on Monday, Labor Day, to be confirmed. A lot of that will depend on the weather, because the weather at this stage, looking at the forecast, is for torrential rain. So, and there's no tournament HQ there at Napi College anymore. That's been knocked down. So not much shelter in store. So we'll keep up to date on our socials on Facebook and Instagram and let you know about that, whether or not we're going to be covering that tournament. As always here on Huddy Sports, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Mike Pinfold, Plumbing and Drain Lane Limited, who's been our sponsor right from the get-go when Huddy Sports first started. Louise Riddy of New Zealand Travel Brokers, Gavin Murphy and the team at Jan Hickton Funeral Directors. And it was good to catch up with Nathan Williams last week. He's attached with Fielding High School, and he's our new sponsor this year with EG Fresh Range Eggs. So it's been great having him on board as well. If you're willing to help out Huddy Sports and sponsorship, we can play your ads on our live streams, even here on the Huddy Hui as well. We can put them on the website and our socials. Head to huddysports.co.nz or email us at huddysportsnz@gmail.com or on our socials, Facebook and Instagram. And if you're willing to sponsor, it's always good to help us out to keep what we do free for all of you to watch. Now, we're going to, very soon, I'm just getting through some of the finer touches. It might be a week or 2 away, but we're going to be updating our memberships on YouTube. We do have 2 at the moment. There is the Huddy Sports Basic one, which is just $1 a month. That just allows you to get member comments on our live streams and that. But there's also been the other one of paid streams. We've only done it once this year. So you only sign up to that when you want to watch something we do behind a paywall. We've only done it once, so we don't really want to keep doing that. But we're about to look at some new membership options on YouTube as well. So, to keep what we do here on Huddy Sports free for you to watch, it's always good to have a bit of financial backing, but it also helps us to pay for the gear we've got to pay off, and all some of the new gear that we're looking at potentially going to use next year as well, and also to help pay our cameraman and tech crew, etc., for our live streams. So the Huddy Hui will be back next week for episode 172. That to close out the month of October, and that will probably, at this stage, could be our last Huddy Hui for the year. But the way it's going, I said 3 weeks ago we will have one more, but we're still going. So there could be another Huddy Hui in store next week. So watch out for episode 172 next week. Keep an eye on our socials, social media pages, if we are doing the Condor Sevens on Monday. That is determined by the weather. So that's been the Huddy Hui for tonight. Many thanks to Harvey O'Rourke as being our guest on the Huddy Hui tonight. And I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now. Drains, leaky pipes, don't let plumbing problems sideline your day. Call the team, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Mike has been our sponsor since the very beginning. From quick fixes to full renovations, he's got the tools, the team, and the know-how to get the job done right. First time, every time. Local, reliable, and always on time. That's how Mike plays the game. Find Mike Pinfold at Pinfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz 027 430 4351. Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Also Google Mike Pinfold Plumbing and let the pros handle the flow.
Hi, Gavin Murphy here
And Cassie Murphy.
from G and Hickton Funeral Directors.
Don't leave it up to someone else to tell your story. Do it now when you can enjoy being part of the conversation.
With a prepaid funeral, you can have music, readings and venue all chosen by you.
For your free funeral planning pack with everything you need to get started, go to our website at gnhickton.co.nz/pre-planning.
The Huddy Hui. Huddy Sports' captivating sports show. The Huddy Hui covers Wellington Club Rugby as well as other sporting topics of debate. Tune in on YouTube during the rugby playing months as host Brad Hudson interviews rugby players and other sporting personalities across the Wellington region and the rest of New Zealand. Catch the Huddy Hui streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and wherever good yarns are heard. The Huddy Hui live on Huddy Sports. Here at Huddy Sports, we love a good game plan. And when it comes to travel, our go-to is Louise Reddy from New Zealand Travel Brokers. Whether it's a sports tour, a family break, or that bucket list trip, she'll get you there stress-free with all the best deals around. She's local, she's experienced, and she backs the game like we do, and she's a great supporter of Huddy Sports. Look up Louise Reddy at louisereddy.nztravelbrokers.co.nz or email louise@louise.reddy@newzealandtravelbrokers.co.nz. Travel smart and travel like a pro. As here on Huddy Sports, we're always wanting to keep our content free on YouTube. So the idea of sponsors, we can promote you on live stream, our social media pages and our website. It's good to support the local community and helps keep Huddy Sport free for all to watch. So if you're interested to helping Huddy Sports, go to huddysports.co.nz or to our email address, huddysportsnz@gmail.com.